So OPES has done something fantastic, and as far as I'm concerned, it sets them far apart and far better than anybody else on the market. Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. So I'm still talking about power stations. I've just been doing a really big review of a whole bunch of power stations. I got power stations on the mind. Okay, so what makes these two distinctive? What I like about both of these units is their solar input. They both will take a higher voltage solar input. This is the OUPES 1000, and this is the Bluetti AC200PL. Now they have an L, just a 200 AC200L, and I own that. Actually, they sent it to me. I liked it so much. That's the one I kept. And so that's what you might be thinking about these for yourself. If you're an RV or somewhere big, then an extra, that expandability can really pay off for you. So the big thing I like about both of these is they have a higher voltage solar input. Every other single power station that I tested only had a limit of 60 volts. And this one has a limit of 145, and this one has a limit of 80. Most of today's inexpensive solar panels are designed to go on a house, and all of those house panels are operating at higher voltage. So a bunch of friends and I went down to Santan Solar in Phoenix, Arizona, and we bought 2 full pallets of solar panels that had been on a building and then taken off to be replaced. Perfect shape, worked perfectly. We have never had a problem with a single one of them. So all these 60 volt panels, if I connect them in series, they come out, my 2 panels come out at 66 volts. And so yes, you want the highest voltage you can get. The 145 on this is excellent. That means I could put 4 of them in series, which means I could use a very small cable and run it a very long distance, which sometimes I do want to run a long distance, and save myself some money. And then the machine will be more efficient with a high voltage. So that would be like almost 130 volt, which at 145, this can handle. If I put 4 of them in series, this could easily handle that, and it would be much more efficient. Now this is only 80 volt, but again, so I could have 2 of my 245 watt panels in series, 2 of them in 245 watts in series, connect them in parallel so that the voltage remains the same. Now I've got 1,000 watts over these cheap cables going into this machine. What's stunning about this machine, this is the Mega 1 by OPES. It's only 1,000 watt hours, but it will take 2,100 watts of solar. And so that's how I can keep combining it and get that whole 2,100 watts into this machine. So I really, really love that about this. It uses an Anderson connector. This uses the standard XT60, but Anderson connectors are great. I don't have any problem using an Anderson connector. I had the Mega 3, which is 2,000 watt hours, and I would buy the Mega 3 because, you know, get the biggest one you can, has 2,000 watt hours. It would also take 2,100 watts of solar, and so that's just stunning. Really, really amazing. So you can see that the solar input is a lot better. My first choice is always the Bluetti Elite 200 Elite V2 because it's a 2,000 watt hour and it's tiny. 0 expandability. For expandability, I buy the 200PL. So let's just look at the numbers on the 2 of them. On the AC200PL, you have a 2,400 watt inverter, and on the OPES Mega 1, you have the same 2,400 watt inverter, and on the Mega 2, which is what I recommend, you have a 2,400 watt inverter. The battery on there is a little larger. It's 2,300 watt hours, and so that's a little bigger. Usually they're all 2,000s. This is 1,048, and the Mega 2 2,000 watt hour battery is 2,048 watt hours. This has a little bit bigger battery at 2,300 watt hours. Okay, now let's look at the price. Don't pay full price, get a cheap price because they're all going to be on sale right now. The AC200PL right now is $1,000, but given all of its advantages, that's not bad. That's not a bad thing at all. The OPES Mega 1 is $399. That's exceptional. I think right now that makes it the cheapest 1,000 watt hour that I know of and all of its pluses make it really a good deal. So for $400, I would be looking really hard at this. I would still want to get the Mega 2 because it's a 2,000 watt hour battery, has all the good pluses of this, but right now it is $844. I would expect it to go on sale, so keep your eye on it right now it's $844, and I think it'll come down. One of the really good things they did was, in the beginning, all Bluettis came with wireless charging for your phone. They've added it back in. Weird. These are weird things. I don't understand why they do this, but they never should have gotten rid of it. But now in this unit, they brought it back. So you have 2 wireless ports, and I really, really like that. Next, let's talk about the expandability, the battery expansion packs. And that's one way that I think the OUPES really stands out from anything else that's on the market. So OUPES has done something fantastic. And as far as I'm concerned, it sets them far apart and far better than anybody else on the market. So this is the 1000. It'll take the B2. And the Mega 2 also will take the B2s, as will the B3. They have a Mega 1, 2, 3, and 5. And so the B2 comes, and this is completely unique, it comes with its own app, its own screen and its own app, and it will take 2,100 watts of solar. So if I buy this or the Mega 2, which is what I recommend you do, and I buy a B2 battery, I can put in 4,200 watts of solar, an overwhelming amount of solar, more solar than I would probably ever have or use. And it can do it because they know this is an off-grid item. Let's make sure you can take a lot of solar. And I love that. And it's got its own ports. It has its own cigarette lighter plug ports and its own USB ports. It can act as its own standalone power station. It just doesn't have an inverter. And so that's just fantastic. I love that. And you can keep expanding. So I think you can take either 2 or 3, and I'm not sure, that's not a quote, but each one will take another 2,100 watts of solar, and it's incredible. That's just brilliant. And so to my mind, that puts them a cut above everybody else. If I'm looking for battery expansion, I'm looking at OUPES for that reason alone. Right now, they're at the forefront of whole house systems. So Bluetti has continually come out with new generations for their power stations. They've become more and more advanced. The most current one, and the one that's the easiest by far to find, is the B300K. B, of course, stands for battery. B300K, and it has 2,700 watt hours. Now, fortunately, the B210, which is still available, it will take 500 watts of solar. So if I buy 3 more of those, I can get another 1,500 watts of solar in. And that's going to make a huge difference. This will already take 1,200 and then another 1,500. Then I'm up well over almost to 4,000 watts of solar. Well, that's going to do the trick if I keep adding batteries. And I really, really like that. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover. They're both great units. And again, OUPES is new to me. I have a good friend that has had one for a long time and has had great luck. And so I'm pretty optimistic that they're a high quality product and they're going to be reliable. I know Bluetti makes fantastic equipment. I highly recommend the 200PL because of its higher voltage, because it's got a little more battery power. It's 2,300 as opposed to 2,000 on all the other 200s, because it has the 2 wireless ports. I'm thinking this would be a very, very good choice if you're looking for battery expansion. The fact that you buy the 210 and you can get 500 watts of solar into each battery, that just sells it to me. This is the unit to buy. Okay, I hope that just laid out a little more understanding of the pluses and the minuses of the different units that are available. They're all good. I mean, I think they're all good. You're not going to regret buying any of them. But if you're looking for expandability, these are going to do a better job because of that, because of the fact that you can get solar into their batteries. And it's got the higher voltage limit. Okay, I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button. Tell a friend about this channel. You know, the more friends you tell about it, the more they know. Hopefully their life will be improved by knowing about it. And the channel will grow and be able to do more and more and do more and better things for you as well. So I'll see you on the next video. Be well, my friends.